I'm so short.
I know. No, I'm a big nigga. Fuck you talking about. So, my name is Tori, and this is who I am. Period.
In the back of my lane with the suicide doors. Yeah. In the back of my lane with the suicide doors. Yeah.
DJ Kopastetikk.
With the suicide doors. Yeah. In the back of
I am from Illinois, but I spent time in Kentucky and Missouri. I do want to move somewhere else that will probably enhance my life a little bit better. 2 wishes, Seattle, for some odd reason. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but that city stands out to me. Texas, I mean, everybody pretty much knows why. I am number 4 out of 5 kids out of my daddy's side. It's 4 girls and 1 boy. Out of my mama kids, I am the last of all 3 girls. But I was basically raised kind of like an only child. My sisters are 8 and 11 years. It wasn't bad. I mean, we had our tough times like anybody else. My mama worked a lot. When I was younger, she was sick. She has lupus. So my younger years was spent really with my cousins until she got a little bit better to be able to have me with her. I had to take care of myself at a younger age than most, like cooking and going to school, making sure that, doors locked, house clean, stuff like that, but it wasn't too bad. I had some friends. I really didn't hang out with people much until like middle school, high school, besides my cousins. No, I didn't start working until I was 16, but, so like, I believe like 4th grade, I had to start staying at home by myself. So I had to, like, in the morning time, make my breakfast, take myself to school, come back from school, and make me something to eat till my mama got off. So that was a pretty young age to have to do that by yourself. I had to learn stuff like that, but I mean, I think it taught me how to be independent faster. Some of my hobbies include sewing, of course, reading, like retail therapy, which is horrible. Just buying little stuff, even if it's not clothes or shoes, it's little stuff for me to be creative with, not just sewing, painting. I'm not really too much of an artist in that aspect, but I do like to create different things, not just sewing clothes. Hanging out with friends, listening to music, talking to God, writing in my journal. I consider myself to be creative, but I do think it came later on in life and not just initially from when I first got here. When I was a little kid, I pictured myself being like a lawyer. Yeah, I like to argue. I like to look up stuff and prove people wrong, especially if they thought that I was wrong. But once I got into middle school and I was considered like a peer tutor and I had to teach other kids in like math and history and stuff like that, I changed to wanting to be a teacher. What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about history and not just for everyone, of course, but mainly for the Black community. I'm passionate about knowing where my people have came from and not just slavery before then. And I want to learn where we're gonna go. And I am an advocate and believe that history does repeat itself. Another thing that I'm passionate about is fashion, whether it's finding new trends that people are, putting out into the world, new people that are creating stuff, what's different from last season or last year, and what can I use old to make new. So my known nickname for fashion is called Creative Wreck, and it's Wreck with the E-A-K, not C-K.
Okay.
And Janelle calls me, because he don't want to call me like the Denim Queen. I didn't know you knew that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It came from me just trying new stuff with denim. So I started off being one of his hair models. And I took some pants, cut them up, made some shorts, and dyed them and made them a whole different color. Added like some bedazzles to it, and since then, everything that I've touched had denim. in it. So I've made shoes and put denim on it, some boots, some Timbs. This was a jacket, of course, and I just did my thing to it. So the front is just, you know, basic. I cut off the sleeves, threw a little bleach on there. And on the back, I put my favorite flowers and a quote. So it was one day, I don't even know what the conversation was. I don't know if it was like a post on Facebook or something. I know we was in school, so it may have been like an assignment that I had in class to where you asked if someone could describe you. And one of my closest friends, shout out to Neil, he actually described me as a creative wreck. But during that time, I was going through a lot of turmoil, but I do think that does describe me to a T, especially if you look up the definition of creative and the definition of the word wreck with the E-A-K and not C. In my undergrad years, I did 2 to 3 fashion shows, and every piece had denim in it in some type of way. And I think that's where it came from. It can be dressed up, it can be dressed down. You can wear it in any type of occasion, depending on how you style it. And I think it just fits everybody, not just women. It can fit men, different races, genders, anything. It's a basic thing, just like black. That, you know how they say orange is the new black or little black dress? That's how I feel about denim. It can go with anything. It can be dark, light. You can change it from dark to light. I don't think I want to move past denim. I do want to add more than just denim, but I think to me it's more like a comfort zone, but it's also a blank canvas. It's like an artist getting a white background and doing whatever they can to it. That's how I am with denim. What they assume about me, everybody, is that I'm stuck up, I'm mean, I'm a bitch, and I'm the complete opposite. I'm goofy, I'm really kind of like sensitive, I'm really nice, especially if you get past my, I wouldn't say antisocial, I'd say like my anxiety of meeting new people. You'll know that I'm actually like a really cool person. What does it take for someone to get past the whole thinking I'm stuck up?
Yeah, to get a chance to break
the ice. Honestly, it depends on the situation. Some people have met me, which is horrible, inebriated, and then I'm a little bit more open that way. I'm a little bit more confident that way. I'm gonna say that. So it's easier for me to open up to people that way. But if I get a certain vibe from you and I instantly like it, then I'm gonna match it. And I can start talking to you about everything. If we have a conversation and I like how your mindset is, that's another way they can get me to open up. If I see how you act with other people, if I see that you are like genuine, loyal, I'm gonna wanna be around you. Or if you just take the time out to get to know me and not just automatically assume, even if you hear like, oh yeah, she's stuck up, she don't mess with nobody and stuff like that, but you see like, nah, she probably just don't talk to nobody, or she only talk to who she only know, and then you like reach out every so often, or just be nice. I mean, I ain't gonna turn down somebody that's nice to me. That's all that shit, I tell it all. I'm single, no kids. Shit, I don't want no nigga with kids. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm single. I'm not necessarily looking, but if it finds me, it finds me. I'm 27, so nobody younger. But I would, but I would prefer a man that I could look up to. I'm just saying, who wants to look down and you can look up? What does art mean to me? Art is an expression. It's the way you feel. It's the way that you look at something. Everything is a perspective. That's why I believe it's not no wrong or right, or it's not no pretty, ugly to art. It's based on what that artist is feeling. And I think that's shown in my art. Not my very first project, but my first project when I started doing my fashion shows was like a t-shirt. I got from like the Goodwill. But I was going through a lot of turmoil at that time, you know, heartbreak. I was like 20, had my first, you know, real little breakup. And I literally took it out on that shirt. And I wore it out and everybody just, I ain't gonna say went crazy, but they were just like, dang, that's dope. I think that's how I express myself. So I believe that's why everything looks different, because it depends on how I feel. I can be sad and I can express myself through my art and it come out something. I can be happy and it comes out a different way. And I can still do the same thing every single time, but how I feel shows through my art or my fashion or my creations based on my emotion. Biggest fear, I think I lived through my biggest fear, but I think it's still a fear of me stopping. So I took like a 3-year hiatus. To graduate college, I felt like I was putting more into my fashion than I was into school, and I needed to get out of that situation. So I stopped, and I wanted to stop for a year, but that ended up becoming 3 years, and I kind of lost my motivation. I lost my drive to do anything. All I wanted to do was just work. And a lot of people just kept pushing me like, okay, when you gonna do something? Where is it at? This and that. And I'm just like, oh, it's coming. And I was not feeling it. And I got it back, of course, but I think that's a fear that I'm gonna go through that again. And if I go through that again, I'm not gonna get my motivation again to start it back up, especially now that I've created an actual name for myself. What is my inspiration? I don't know. I don't know if I have like pinpointed an inspiration. I just like the feeling of completing something. Like starting off from scratch, starting off from making a pattern to cutting it out, sewing it, and putting it on my mannequin. That's like, can I cuss over? That's a good ass feeling, you know? So just completion, I guess, is my inspiration. I haven't really thought about that. If I can be honest, what puts me in a mood to create is not being like a good mood. It's me getting myself to a good mood. Like I said before with the whole shirt, I was going through a heartbreak. And I just, honestly, I wanted to touch some shit up. And that's exactly what I did to that shirt. And it came out to be something dope. So majority of the time when I'm sewing, I'm trying to get over like depression, like thoughts or my nervousness. I don't know if it just came over me and I'm like, okay, like something is wrong. Let me do something to calm myself down. So I'll start sewing, listening to music. If just music alone doesn't help, or I might be excited. I might see something and be like, dang, I want to try that, but I want to try it with this. So I don't think every time it's a good mood, but when I finish, I'll be in a good mood.
I'm going to say a word, and you have to tell me how that word relates to you or a memory you have concerning that word.
Okay.
Coping.
Coping. So the first thing that came to mind with coping was music. Or a habit that a lot of people do is drugs. And I switched from drugs to journaling. So it's helped me to get feelings out, thoughts that I won't physically say to someone, or if I'm like too nervous or too ashamed, I guess, to say it to an actual person, I can write it down, say it to myself, and once it's out, it's out. I ain't gotta worry about holding it in. Friends. All I think about is 12 and some are 13. If you know, you know. No, friends. Yeah, I think about all my friends that I met literally the first day of school. We still are friends, and we've got new friends along the way, and eventually we became family.
Success.
Success. I believe I'm successful now because I've reached levels that my parents didn't. They didn't go to school, I did. they started having kids young. I don't have kids yet. I'm on my feet independently, and you know what I'm saying, some people could just, they success be, I got my first job. So I think success is what you make it for real and what you consider it. I don't think it's a pinpoint definition. So I've accomplished one goal, and that's to create a business for my line, which is Creative Wreak. A goal is to make that flourish. And I don't necessarily mean by being rich and famous. Definitely don't want to be famous. But by being able to comfortably produce product for customers. Would love to be a stylist, but I do believe I would have to learn a lot bit more because I focus on my style more than everyone else's. So I have to learn style as a whole. Because what I like don't necessarily mean somebody else like it. But yes, I thought about it. But thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Just look out for Creative Wreak. I am on Instagram, Creative Wreak. That's Wreak with the number 4. On Snapchat, Creative Wreak. And I will be posting soon. Thank you.
Suicide doors, yeah. In the back of my lane with the suicide doors, yeah.
DJ
In the back of my
Kopastetikk.
lane with the suicide doors.